Okay, this is a video for the Unique Melody MEST. This is the Japanese version. It's tuned differently from the international version, and that's important. So this is a review for the JP version. And I'll go ahead and get started with the bass. Okay, this is number 6. This is the 6th time I've tried. Every time I talk about the bass, I start talking about other stuff because I'm totally geeked on this set. This is try number 6. Marvin Gaye, Sexual Healing. I'm listening to Gold. This is a rip from an LP. Using the Roland 808. Sounds absolutely fantastic. Marvin sounds just a tad bit forward. Every little micro detail is available in a way that I've not heard before. That sounds like typical hype stuff. It's true. This set totally took me absolutely by surprise. Listen to the Violent Femmes, Please Do Not Go. That took me, no, because I'm going to get out of that. Okay, but the 4-string bass guitar sounded excellent. It's the decay, the life of it sounded great. It wasn't bleeding into the mids. It didn't seem like it was living a little bit too long. It didn't seem abrupt either. The Claire by Thea Audio is kind of similar to that. I would say this is a little better than that, and the Monarch is really sub-bass focused, so that definitely doesn't sound great. That would be an example of Violent Femmes. On this set, it sounds absolutely fucking awesome. Led Zeppelin, When the Levee Breaks, which is very close to... Let me get to this one right here. This is Massive Attack. If you like your sub-bass, you'll be fine with this. Listening to Massive Attack and also Kendrick Lamar, Money Trees off the Good Kid, Mad City. It'll vibrate the inside of your ear and your ability to perceive the mids. I keep talking about other frequencies. Is not impacted at all. There is a uniqueness to this set, whether it's the way they put the drivers in the shell, whether that bone conduction is doing any fucking thing at all, I have no idea. This is giving me a higher quality playback than I've maybe ever gotten from any earphones that I've ever listened to in my entire life, including the Sonys. As much as I love those, I'm a Sony fanboy, and people that have known my channel for going way back, I'm a Sony fanboy. I've had all my Sonys customized, except for that set because I want to keep it like it is because it's perfect. But everything else, the EX800 ST, the EX1000, the XB90EX, those are all customized. Those were all sent to America to get their cables redone because those are important to me. This set plays with the Sony. It's a legit end game. The kick drum, When the Levee Breaks, which would be just a little bit over here on this album, which I always talk about, it's supposed to sound authoritative, and it does. And then the harmonica can maybe get on you if the treble is done wrong. It's not getting on me on this set. I can listen to this with joy and then just glide right into the next song without any problem. The kick drum is fucking perfect. Listening to bass guitar on Led Zeppelin 2, Whole Lot of Love. It's fucking epic. The bass on this is one of the best I've heard in the upper echelons from anything, where they try to tame the bass. This is not a bassy set. It's just doing the masters accurately. When this is supposed to have a pronounced 4-string bass, that's the way it sounds. When it's supposed to have a pronounced kick drum, that's the way it sounds. When it's not supposed to, on something like Wings, Band on the Run, it doesn't sound like that. It's not something that's lording over, creating a haze. The bass is in its spot at all times, which is part of the magic and why I've done 6 takes of this video, because I start to talk about other frequencies. So listening to everything on this list that you can see right here, maybe close it up, because I focus on certain tracks with the bass, but as I listen to other stuff, I'm listening to all frequencies. I'm just naming specific tracks, so if you want to know how I'm evaluating the low end. Massive Attack, Angel, Kendrick Lamar, Money Trees, Led Zeppelin, Dazed Confused, When the Levee Breaks, the synthesizer, keyboards on Sweet Dreams. That's what I'm listening to when I evaluate the low frequency of an earphone. And sometimes it's pretty good. And sometimes it gets in the way. And sometimes it's very, very good. And this would maybe be reference level playback on the low end by Unique Melody, and I just said that in a sentence. I can't fucking believe it. The best surprises are the biggest ones, I guess, because I really did not see this coming. That's the bass. There is no problem with the bass because it's supposed to not bother anything that follows it, which is a mid and treble. So I want my bass and I want my mids, and I don't need to pay a lot of money for that. But this set is kind of expensive, but it's doing it in a way that I haven't heard. I should get in a Leonard Skinner, but that's kind of more in the mid. So I'm out. That's the bass. Okay, the mids on the Unique Melody MEST JP Japanese version. This is Fleetwood Mac Rumors. It's a DSD. I was listening to Go Your Own Way, but I decided to flip it to the chain because I wanted to listen to the kick drum at the beginning, which was fucking perfect. And then I'm listening and I'm doing little writings, and I'm writing down that I'm listening to Lindsey Buckingham at 55-second timestamp. And at 1 second, Stevie enters with just a little background vocal, and she's gone again. And then at 1:32, there's somebody mutes the cymbal. Sounds perfect. That's not a mid event really, but I just kept going when I'm listening to that. I love this album for mids because the drums are not too much, but they're there. The bassist is sometimes up and sometimes he's back. This is not an album that you would think, oh, this is the bassist is front and center and that bassist is. No, it's really vocals and a lot of guitar, but there are moments where the bassist is forward, and this kind of gives me that, and it's got 2 male and 2 female singers in it, and that is something that can get messed up very easily or sound slightly veiled. Not sure if I've ever listened to Fleetwood Mac and enjoyed it as much with IEMs as I do with this set. There's recency bias with that, but I did a video for this already and went back to it because I thought something must have got on me. I said I had bias against the Bone Conductor quad brid stuff, and also the graph wasn't my perfect ideal graph, and it's JP tuning, and that's usually goes like this, and there's a bunch of reasons I wasn't going to maybe like this, and I ended up falling in love with it. And I'm doing this video I think like a week later, and I'm still head over heels for it. The guitar solo in Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits, see D, E, F, that's only right over here, is epic. The mids, take a look at the graph for this particular set. This has got that bass glide that's perfect. It's maybe 1.5 dB over when it comes into the mid frequency. It's fucking perfect. I wouldn't notch at 4K if I was designing my own set. And that's why I'm not a professional. Because this sounds better than anything that I've heard, therefore they do better than I would have done if someone said, take this like they did. I got sent the Y2K a year and 4 months ago. I checked and they said, please, make a set. And I played with different stuff and listened to it and couldn't really kind of figure it out. And I'm listening to this set, and that would never be something that I would intentionally set up. And it turns out to be my favorite set because the music, because it's not a line. It's the music that I'm listening to in the background. And I've listened to tons of stuff. I've listened to more music in a shorter period of time with this than anything else because I've been trying to look for what it's not doing right, because everything has a weak point. Right? Nope. There's nothing in my library. There's Easy E right there. Plays easy fine. Kendrick played back fine. Tupac played back fine. The hip-hop stuff is automatic. Stuff like Jim Croce, Gordon Lightfoot with acoustic guitar and male vocals that are the main event sounds fine. Listening to Pink Floyd with all the stuff that's mastered in and all the little voices where they took the people that were around the studio and put them into the songs, people that you can find out online what their names were, and a couple people. I think the person says, I'm mad, I've been bloody mad, and like that guy's name you can find out online. All of that stuff sounds fucking fantastic. The joy of looking for the fault and not finding it is hard to convey to you, because there's always this is awesome but, and I didn't find the but with this. Couldn't find it on anything. Soundgarden, nothing. So I'll keep going. The mids are fine. Vocals are great. Everything that I listened to, like I said, specifically Robert Plant, Paul McCartney, Chris Cornell, Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham, Jerry Garcia, everything sounded fine. There was no problem with vocals or anything that starts in the mids, which is guitars. Almost everything was born late bass or mids, and then transitions into harmonic overtone stage in the treble. This isn't fucking up anything in the mids. That's the mids. Just like the bass. Fantastic. That's it for the mids. Okay, the treble. The treble, Pink Floyd, Money, Boston, More Than a Feeling. Everything that I've been listening to prior to this as well, because I'm listening to the whole song. Guitar solos, like I brought up, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Let's look at some boobies. Jimi Hendrix will give us boobies, won't he? Jimmy. There's boobies. Unfortunately, All Along the Watchtower is unique. It sounds like the beginning of the song, or the first part of it. There's, I think, 3 solos in this song. I'm talking about Jimi Hendrix because a lot of this guitar solos, there's a lot of chaos going up in the treble. The beginning of this song, that's kind of got 3 solos in it, the first part sounds very low res on everything, but I know that going into it. And then it gets to the part where it goes, I think it's the second solo. It sounds like the quality of the master goes up tremendously on the same song, like it was spliced together or something. It's very, I know that that's coming, and when it happened on this set, the step up in quality of sound was very audible and apparent. What I've been thinking all the time when I listened to this, the Jimi Hendrix Experience Electric Ladyland, was that part of this track and another part were kind of put together, because the beginning of this really doesn't sound that great, and then it suddenly does sound excellent, and the solo sounds great, and the strumming of the guitar sounds better than it did at the beginning of the track. That separation of a putting together the master and production of this track right here is apparent on this set. And I was not listening for that. I was just listening to the quality of the solos on All Along the Watchtower. And I could notice that there is a joining in there. I should try to timestamp that in a future video, but I'll be listening to these to do that because it's so apparent. The guitar solos of Jimi Hendrix, Comfortably Numb, Gilmore, absolutely fantastic. This doesn't, if this fatigued me, it would still be a great set, because that would be the blessing and the curse. Like, it gives you all of this quality, like a lot of stuff, like the V14, the S8F, but the expense of that is obviously that you're going to get fatigued by that, all of that info. This is giving me all of that info and all of those tracks without that sense of fatigue, because of these holes on the side, or because of the bone conductor, or because of something that I can't pin down what it is. I don't know. It's not stepping wrong on anything. I'm hovering on this because there's breasts right on the screen right there, and that's acceptable and considered art. I've checked. I can go through the whole, Pink Floyd, Money, Boston, One Feeling. It's got a huge stage. It sounds massive, actually. Very, very wide. The triangle strike on Tin Man at 39 seconds sounds fucking perfect. The resolution of the woman making the announcement on the Run between 26 and 58 seconds, she's talking about boarding passes to Rome, is as good as I've ever heard it. So now what I'm doing is repeating what I said in the bass and the mids when focusing, and then not focusing. While I'm trying to OCD on something, another thing is showing itself. Like while I'm listening to Stevie pop her head in at a minute, the guy muting the cymbal is standing up because that cymbal sounded so damn good. When I'm listening to Wings Band on the Run, instead of listening to the electric rhythm guitar and the keyboard, I'm actually listening to Paul as he comes in. Everything is there, not overwhelmingly so. Unique Melody did a fantastic job. With intent and on purpose, do they know that this is that good? It doesn't appear that way because I don't hear people raving about this set. So let me go ahead and do my conclusion. So the bass, there's no problems. It's actually exceptional. The mids, there's no problems. It's actually exceptional. If you like vocals like I do, because I listen to music that has vocals, that's the only kind of music I listen to, it's exceptional. The treble gives me every detail that I require and demand, plus more, and it's not fatiguing, which is the fucking weird part of this whole thing. So let me go ahead and finish treble and get into Okay, conclusion. Using AC/DC, using Badfinger, using Black Sabbath and Blind Faith and Bob Marley and Cheap Trick and Electric Light Orchestra, the Grateful Dead, the Ghetto Boys. Again, I listened to more music this short period of time than probably any other set in the same amount of time, because I was lacking in the one thing, which is everything's got a weak point. Like I said, the Z1R, it could be the mids are a little bit thin. I love it, but that would be the knock on it. The bass sounds fine. It's got impact. The treble is, I guess that could be another thing. You get a huge stage and a massive sense of presence, but that can be overwhelming kind of in itself. But we're not here to talk about that set. While I'm looking for that, qualifier, I'm not finding it, and I just keep going through my collection, which is quite large and quite good, and it's taken a long time to kind of build it up. Steely Dan, everything sounds good on Steely Dan. The Eagles. We're still on the Eagles. Eagles. We're on the Stones now. Stones. Still on the Stones. We're still on the Stones. There we go. And then we're starting on the Who. Everything I listen to sounds fantastic. Do I wreck this set? Fucking absolutely I do, actually, because it's $1,600 and there's a lot of stuff out there that costs $2,000 plus that I would never buy, that I've bought, but I would never really wreck that you spend money on it, because it's too much like a monitor. It doesn't have impact in the bass. I don't want that. I'm not going to wreck that for big money. It does cymbals slightly soft. I'm talking about the U12T. I'm not going to wreck that. That's maybe good for someone that's in the studio, but that's not for a music lover, because I want the energy that comes from a cymbal, and I want the power that comes from a kick drum. I'm not producing for other people. I want to hear the music. This plays back everything with an accuracy that you could master and monitor with, or if you're you play the guitar, you're a lead singer. This is one of the only sets. Here's the thing. I should go scripted someday. I never will. I get asked a lot of people, like, could I use this for a monitor? And sometimes I say, what are you monitoring? Like, because that would be important, because the weakness. Would you monitor with the IE's Z1R? No, because they're heavy, and 2, because of the way the mids are, and also the treble's kind of steroidal, but that's why it's awesome. This is a set where it wouldn't matter if you were the lead singer, the bassist, the drummer, doing keyboards. It wouldn't matter where you were or what you were doing, or if you were monitoring everybody at the same time because you're in production. This would be a set that you could listen to. This plays everything naturally. It plays the lead singer. It plays the drummer and his whole kit. It plays guitar, whether it's an acoustic being strummed or an electric being absolutely ripped to shreds like Jimi Hendrix. It does everything. Fucking keyboards on Eurythmics were fucking epic. Sweet Dreams? Fucking holy shit. I actually listened to Billy Idol too. When the rebel yells, he cries more. There's a part in that song. I'm sorry, I should have said that in the music. Billy Idol. You remember Billy Idol? Billy Idol, Rebel Yell. There's a part in that song where he's saying, all the money I got, I give it to you, babe. I said you live here by me, because the fucking guy's voice is awesome. I wish I haven't paid attention to him in a long time, but that dude's fucking roar, guttural fucking voice. Billy Idol, Rebel Yell. He did a version like acoustic with Steve Stevens, I think, is the guitarist. You go check that out on fucking YouTube. God damn, he still can hit that fucking... Everybody you listen to later, Robert Plant, Ozzy Osbourne, they always cut out that part where they were trying to hit the high note because they know they can't do it anymore. Billy Idol was never going for the high note. He's getting that guttural... This does that fine. It does everything. I'm sorry, I went off script. Fucking love it. Gets to the very top ranking. I will listen to this more than I will the IER Z1R because of its fit, comfort, and its overall signature is superior to it, in my opinion. But I won't move these because of recency bias, but it's that fucking good. It's excellent. This took way too long. How long does it take to say? The bass is fucking awesome. The mids are excellent. The treble is spectacular, gives me all the stage that I want, it gives me all the micro details I want, all the fucking guitar solos sound perfect. The guitar is never fighting with the vocalist for fucking space, because the guitar fundamentals and the vocalists are very similar, and their overtones, their the harmonic extension is really existing in the same range, and they can sound like they're battling with each other, and it never does with this set. That's why I say it, if you were into, I want to drop good coin and I want to monitor everybody, this would be a set that would do that. The JP version of the MEST. Let me be specific, because I heard the other one and it's some reason it didn't grab me. And this one came and I thought, fuck, JP version. No, please no. But I bought it from Amazon JP, so that's what you get. Fucking lucky. So I'm out. The Unique Melody MEST JP version is fucking epic for my library. It plays all of the instruments to a level where I would say easily, if you've got good coin and you're in the business, take my word for it, and then please come back and leave comments on whatever video is the latest one and tell me, hey dude, I do production and mastering, and I listen to everybody, and I've got to pay attention to the drummer, and I got to listen to stuff, and you said that this was good for that. Please come back. I'd like to get your feedback, because this is the set that I think would do that as good as anything I've ever heard. Not in a sterile, muted kind of way, like everything's put in its place to not overlap each other. Everything sounds dynamic as it's supposed to, without eating away at the other thing. How it's doing that, I don't fucking know. It's a quad brid. I have great doubts that that's why it's so awesome. It is absolutely fucking awesome though, and it's the Unique Melody, and I'm out. Goddamn good set.